We're going to get to that drone video, but first,
Okay.
our live shot is up of Kaitlin Knapp. She's in Charlotte County. She has been this entire time, and this is where we're seeing some of the worst of it. Kaitlin, what are you seeing out there? I know that you're being safe, but take us through it.
Yeah, the wind is really starting to pick up here. I'm practically having to brace my foot on this railing because it is just pushing us left and right. For a while, we really just had to wait it out in our car because the wind was roaring, howling, just a lot happening here in Punta Gorda. One of the biggest concerns is going to be flooding. Now, I'm going to have my photographer stay right there just because the wind is getting really bad. But just looking over this railing right now, there is just a ton of debris in the road. All right, Mike, if you can feel safe enough to go over here. There's a lot of debris in the road. Not sure what road this is, and the reason I say that is because a lot of the signs are gone. I was walking around in the eye of the storm when things were a little calm for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, and I saw the US 41 northbound sign just in a hallway, just laying there. I saw 2 or 3 other signs just broken pieces, just scattered all over the grass. But a lot of the stuff in the road, I've seen palm fronds, awnings, a lot of metal pieces, some pieces from a truck as well. And this is just scattered all over downtown Punta Gorda. I also seen a couple lamp posts that were broken, and then the railing, or excuse me, the covering of that light post was on the ground and shattered. Mainly seeing just a lot of trees everywhere, but this is just in the 1 block radius that I was able to walk around about 2 hours ago. Right now we're in downtown Punta Gorda in a parking garage, and it's very dark here because the power has gone out in the parking garage. The fire alarm was probably going off for about 2 or 3 hours or so, and we're no longer in the eye wall of this. Certified meteorologist Katie Wall saying that the biggest thing right now that we're feeling is a lot of rain. You can probably see a little bit just coming into the camera and just hitting my face, but again, the wind is the biggest issue here, but flooding is also going to be one of the biggest concerns as well. When I was walking around a little bit earlier today, it was probably going up to maybe barely my calf. I'm about 5'2", so a little short, but it was still going up to my calf just walking around. And that was in the first half of Hurricane Ian, not even the second half. Now, a couple things that I do want to go over from Charlotte County Emergency Management as well as the Sheriff's Office and Punta Gorda Police. The biggest thing here is that there is a curfew in effect from 9 o'clock tonight to 6 in the morning unless you are commuting for work or you are a first responder. That means that you need to shelter in place. As far as when this curfew is going to stop, well, it's in effect until further notice, until we can get out of this storm. So Charlotte County Emergency Management had a press conference a little while ago around 3 o'clock this afternoon, and they are still urging residents to stay inside. About 120,000 people, possibly even more at this point, don't have power. And when I say 120,000 people, the interesting part about that is those 2 mandatory evacuations that were issued yesterday, that's about 120,000 people as well, 2/3 of the Charlotte County population. So to kind of put it in perspective for you guys, again, 2/3 of the population under evacuation, about 120,000 residents. 120,000 residents have no power right now. And it's going to be some time until the power does come back on and streets start to clear out. Charlotte County Emergency Management Director Patrick Fuller was saying that once it's safe, they will go out and start assessing the situation, but it does not seem like it's going to be anytime soon at the moment. So we're going to stay out here for a while. And another thing that I do want to mention, though, is to check on the people that you care about. I have been able to personally contact some of my friends, my mom who's in West Palm Beach, and just a simple text message goes a long way. And I've had a lot of my coworkers reach out, a lot of my friends also reach out, and even people that I met here in the parking garage. A lot of the storm chasers, we exchange phone numbers, and they're checking to see if I'm okay, if I need anything, if my photographer Mike needs anything either. So again, if you can send a text message out, just check in on everyone, as we're all in this together. We are all going through the same storm, different situation depending on where you live, but like I said, something like that can go a long way. We're going to stay out here for as long as we can in Punta Gorda and bring you the latest as Hurricane Ian continues to make its way through. Reporting live in Punta Gorda, Kaitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
Kaitlin, I could not have said it better ourselves, as really our neighbors' lives have been upended today. So check on your loved ones. I know many of our coworkers, many of us here, many of the first responders trying to get in touch with their families.
Now let's go back to show just the force of the water as it was pushing through with the storm surge. This video from Sanibel taken by Fox 4's Elise Chingari. And this was people trying to keep it out of a hotel there at Sanibel that they were sheltering at that point while they were also working. And for some of that video, it really became very dramatic. And we've seen this all over. Naples Fire has also shown this with the water pushing through one of the doors here. Take a look at this as we can see this. And people just doing whatever they can to try to hold it in place, but that was not enough in the end.
Yeah, and I would believe that this was before that storm surge also came through there, but those were workers trying to keep the wind out, that wind pushing all of that water into our coastal barrier islands and just devastating that area as Hurricane Ian made landfall today around 3:05 right off of Cayo Costa as a Category 4, now thankfully a Category 3 storm.
If we've got, let's call for that Naples video again with Naples Fire showing that door again, just showing the force as the water was rushing in. And I'm sure this was a situation that's happened over many spots throughout Southwest Florida. I mean, think about just the fear and the anxiety, the stress that would cause for everything that anybody would do to try to be ready for it.
Was that water rushing in there, Chris? I'm not sure. Something just breaking down that door. And we know that Naples and, it is. Our producer's saying yes, that is water pushing through that door. It wasn't just the winds there. Wow.
Yep. And I can see that Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley is ready as we are at 7:32. So let's get an update as we can see. And we just saw from Kaitlin Knapp up in Charlotte County that they're now on the backside of it, taking this final big push of it before hopefully the all clear there.
Well, and I do want to give you an update there. So as of a couple minutes ago, we just got another extreme wind warning for parts of DeSoto County and northeastern Charlotte County until 9:30, and this is were the same areas that we are seeing that high wind is right on that back side of Ian's eye wall, right through Arcadia, down through Port Charlotte for you. So that's why that new warning did go out, because we are seeing winds there. I just looked, radar indicated winds 110 miles an hour up through that eye wall there. So again, still a damaging storm system here. I also see new recent video closer down towards Charlotte Harbor, and we are seeing now again continuing to get that wrap around, and as this lifts off to the north, you're looking at that edge right up along Charlotte Harbor. So you're still getting some water pushed up into Charlotte Harbor that is battling with that receding tide, but we are still seeing that water coming up a little bit in the Charlotte Harbor area in Punta Gorda. So we're going to be watching for some storm surge in and around that area. But I'm going to zoom things out here, just kind of give you another look at things. So what are we looking at down to the south? You're noticing it's a little bit quieter in terms of the rainfall. We're dealing with some wind shear, some weakening of the storm. It is also getting into some drier air into there. So down south here, things are quieting down, at least in the rain department. You're still dealing with windy tropical storm conditions. The tropical storm force winds are like 300 miles right now. So we're still dealing with a lot of damaging winds in and around Ian for you at this time. But the worst continues to be up in Charlotte County, Sarasota County, and DeSoto County, and that moves up towards Highlands County there as it continues to move up into central Florida. But you're still looking in Arcadia, that heavy downpours in and around the city there. Now, the looks like the heaviest stuff is off to the north there, up along, I'm looking at the map here, 17 and then 661. Up and around this area. So that's Coker Street there, just getting into that heavy rain there as well. Just kind of orient yourself. Again, north side and basically northwest side of Arcadia into that heavy rain band for you at this time. And that extends all the way out to Northport, down into Sarasota County, Venice, and then down in towards Charlotte County, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Cleveland, seeing that down into Rotunda. And we even seen that that rain band try to sneak in towards still the Cape Coral area, down towards Burnt Store Marina, Boquilla, Boca Grande, Cayo Costa, where we do know Ian obviously made landfall earlier today for you. Now, further south, though, you're still looking at rain, but not as much of those tropical downpours that you're seeing closer to that eye wall down in Bowman's Beach, Sanibel Lighthouse, down through Fort Myers beaches. Again, that south side is getting eroded down through Lovers Key State Park, Vanderbilt Beach, and down into Naples. But we have seen still these feeder bands working their way through. I'm going to zoom things out so you can see that. These feeder bands working their way through, down through Naples, Marco Island. So still some tropical downpours down there. You're not out of this, but things are starting to get improved. The further south you get, we're going to continue to see improvements from south to north through the night, but I still think we're going to see several more hours of this. I don't expect Ian's eye to get into Central Florida until about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the overnight hours to tomorrow morning, guys.
I was actually just about to ask another question because I'm sure a lot of our viewers have questions too. And Chris had pointed out that it's now getting a little dark out. So what can we tell our neighbors and our friends who have a long night ahead of them? Any timeline on when really this is past us?
Well, I think this is going to make up into Central Florida probably around 2 o'clock in the morning.